All right, here we go. Okay, so just a little bit about me. I am an NWA native. I was born here in Rogers. Then I moved away for a while and came back about 11 years ago at this point. So Fayetteville has always felt like home. I went to the U of A, and we just feel really lucky to live here. So I live in Fayetteville with my husband, Nick, and my two crazy dogs. They keep us busy, and we love just being outside, really doing anything. It's so great to live in the natural state where we have so many outdoor resources, and we really love to go enjoy those. As far as my professional focus, it's always been in digital marketing. So I've kind of always had a back end focus in marketing. I have always navigated towards the things that most people on my teams like to avoid or think are really boring. And so that has kind of created a great path for me. So I really focus in analytics, budget optimization, SEO, really helping our clients understand free resources to help their business. We all know that marketing can be really overwhelming and expensive. There's always someone trying to sell you something, telling you should spend money. And I really want to show you guys that it's possible to do a lot with free or minimal budget tactics. So I really have a passion for helping small business, and I've noticed through my work with the center in the past few years that there's marketing, there's a general marketing. You can go online and learn so much about marketing, but there's really specific applications for small business owners. And that's what I really like to focus in. So there's a ton of information, but let's funnel it down to really understand what's important to you now and scale up from there. So today we'll be talking about managing your Google business profile. What is it? Why is it important? Why do we really encourage our clients to have this, in addition to some free tools that you can use to do a little research about your competitors, keywords you can include, even what categories and services your business falls into. We often think of SEO as just our website, and SEO is kind of that buzzword that it gets thrown around. People are going to tell you that you need it, but why? What does the back end look like? There's a ton of research and strategy behind SEO. One of them is Google Business, as it's one of your most important local SEO options. So with Google Business, we're going to really be capturing those near me searches, bakery in Fayetteville, Arkansas, restaurant near me, those local kind of search terms. When we're looking for something, Google Business is going to be one of the first listings that we see. I guess I could have told you this before my spiel. So what is Google Business? It is previously referred to as Google My Business if you were on the platform back in those days. And it's just a really easy to use tool to help manage your online presence across Google. It is separate from your website, but it is really easy. I kind of encourage my clients to think of this as your third or fourth kind of social media, right? It's a very informative profile, and also helps us to play that Google game, that search game of, okay, we're using a few more Google products. Google likes that. They know that our website is worth serving through Google Business. We're going to start working on our ranking to be served to people looking for products and services like ours. So a few ways you can manage your information to help users find you in a search. This can be on your browser or in Google Maps. And I do this all the time. And I think that's really important to understand is, even if you are a hyper local business, like you do no e-commerce, you are just a brick and mortar location, or you provide a service that's only available to the Northwest Arkansas area, people are still using their Google Maps as a search platform. And that is how Google Business is served. Anything that you see on Google Maps is a Google Business profile. And as one of the biggest search platforms, we have to make sure our potential customers can find us. So in your Google Business profile, you can update information like your hours, website, menu, photos, reviews, and your street address. You do not have to have a physical location to have a Google Business profile. Once you verify your business, they will send a postcard or ask you to verify a video showing where you conduct business, but there's an option on the profile to block your physical location. And this is really important for people who maybe run businesses out of their homes. We obviously don't want to mark our homes on Google. So that is an option. The benefit of that is, say you're a CPA who works out of their home. You can still come up when someone searches for CPA Fayetteville, Arkansas, and you can just be very clear that your services are virtual, or you can meet them at their location. You don't have to say that you work out of your home. Secondly, we can interact with our customers. So we can read and respond to reviews, post photos that show off what you do, kind of give people that first impression. If they're looking at many listings, what do they need to make a decision to visit your business, call you, go to your website? I like this stat that says businesses that add photos to their Google business profiles receive 42% more requests for directions and 35% more click-throughs to their website. It just makes you seem real. Humans are very visual. We want to make sure that a website we go to, a business we go to, seems a little familiar. It seems comfortable to us. We kind of know what to expect. And then it just kind of can help you understand and expand your presence. So Google Business gives you great insights that you can learn from, which we'll go over a few towards the end of the presentation. And then you can get an understanding of how many people call your business directly from the phone number displayed on search and maps, how many people ask for directions. It even shows you a really cool heat map of where people are when they ask for directions. So some of our clients will see that they're located in Fayetteville, but a decent amount of people are in Bentonville when they ask for directions. So you can kind of draw some conclusions of people are willing to drive for my product or service. Maybe if a decent amount of your customers are in Bentonville, you could push some marketing efforts that way. So there's a lot of learning opportunities as well. I kind of went over some of this, but why Google Business? First of all, it's free, and we love free. It's really easy to use. There's not an overwhelming amount of information that it requires to be successful in search, which I love. It's one of those marketing tactics that kind of has that instant gratification that we're all seeking. There's so many things to do from a marketing perspective, and sometimes it's just nice to be able to set something and start seeing your profile show up. It is one of the best sources for local SEO. It's quicker and easier to optimize than your website. So typically, if you're working on your SEO, search engine optimization, sorry to just now define that, that could take 3 to 4 months to start seeing that traffic pick up. There are just so many websites on the internet that exist that Google is kind of prioritizing reading websites and ranking them and understanding what they're about. So Google Business Profile is a pretty easy and quick way to get some of that information out that you want to start gaining that local SEO traffic. It's just quicker than traditional SEO. And then it can help drive people to your website, gather your customer reviews, inform your customers of updated hours, any changes. So take our snow week, for example. A lot of businesses were closed. And so it's really important to update your Google Business hours all the time, right? Even if you were closed for 5 days during the snow, you can set special hours in Google Business. So if people are looking for places to eat and there's only 20 places open and your business hours are up to date, you can get some of that business. Same thing. If your kid is sick, you're the only person at your business, you have to leave work early and close the business, you can set a special hour for today at 3 p.m. you're closing, you can update those hours, and that's pretty quick on Google. So if someone's planning on visiting you, they can be informed before they make their way over to you. You can list your menus, products, services, anything that you want people to view from a first glance. general marketing practice. Let's make it easy for people. If people are already searching for you, they're already looking at your Google business, let's update a few things that just make you stand out and make people want to visit your website or your physical location. You can also connect Google Business to Bing Places, and Bing might not be your first choice for a search engine, but it is one of the default browsers for some PCs. So if people never change their browser settings, they could be using Bing Places versus Google. And so it's just one of those things. It's easy. It connects in the profile very easily through Bing. And it's just another resource to have. You don't have to actively manage Bing Places if you are actively managing your Google business profile. So how to get started if you don't have a profile, there will be a link in the deck, but you just go to business.google.com/create and set up an account. They will ask you to verify it. The method varies. I don't know why, but most of the time it's a postcard or a video. And that normally takes about 2 weeks to verify. Shouldn't take longer than that, but just know that whatever address you put on there, there's potential to get a postcard to. So it's something that you want to be able to tangibly accept. And then again, you do not have to have a physical location. If you have that postcard like sent to a PO box or something even, it's just going to, you just have to verify that you are a human setting up a business. So customizing your account, there are a few different options. This is where you can really update your information to allow customers and Google, the back end of Google, to understand more about your business. So things that we want to prioritize updating would be under the About section, your business name, your business category or categories. You can have multiple if you would like, but there is a primary category. So if I'm a bakery in Fayetteville, my first primary category is going to be bakery. And then I could add secondary categories that say cupcake shop, cake shop, like your more specific things where Google can learn about your business, know how to serve you to people who are searching for you, but that you're categorized appropriately for the products and or services that you provide. And then your business description is really important because this allows Google to pull some keywords from your description. So if, again, I'm a bakery, I'm going to say, locally owned bakery located in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We specialize in custom cupcakes, cakes, donuts, like whatever people are going to be searching for. We want the language to feel natural. We don't want to keyword stack. But at the same time, if I'm searching cakes or bakery in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Google kind of plays this game of like, okay, she has bakery in her name, she has bakery in her category, and she has bakery in her Google description. She's a bakery. I'm going to serve her listing as an option in these results. And then your website link, make sure that's up to date. Location and service area. Your service area varies based on where you service. So if you have a national business, you have a local offering, you can say United States in Fayetteville, Arkansas. If you're only NWA, you can set it as Fayetteville, Springdale, Lowell, Rogers, Bentonville. You'll just kind of see it like maps it out with a little radius, and you'll see all the areas. So if someone is in Bentonville and they're searching for something, it will know that you can service Bentonville. It will serve them your profile basically. And then hours and special hours, really important to keep those up to date. If something happens with your hours, train your brain to just say, I have to go update my Google business profile. It's really quick. It really is easy. And it really helps your customers build trust and know that if they go to your Google business profile, that's going to be your single source of truth for your location. And then you can also add characteristics about your business. Not everyone cares to update these, but consumers are very consumers will want to support certain businesses over others based on their characteristics. So it just depends what fits. There's some preset options in there that you can choose from. If nothing fits, you don't have to choose anything. A few that you'll find are like women owned, LGBTQ owned, minority owned. You'll even see things for like, is your business accessible? Does it have a ramp? Do you accept credit cards? Do you have Wi-Fi? Like, you can really inform your potential customer with a lot of options through the profile. For customizing your account, Google Business now does this through the search platform. So if you used to do this through, they used to basically have a little profile login, and now it's just through the search profile. It's fine. I kind of miss the old format, but they keep it simple. So a few extra things you can do through this view are like edit your pickup link under pickup and delivery products. You can see here, you can choose to turn on messaging if you want, add photos, Q&A. Some people choose to do this, some people don't. I will say that more like service related businesses probably have their messages turned on more than physical product related businesses, just because people are asking about pricing or are you available on this day or something. I think one kind of watch out for that is sometimes you'll see kind of like bot traffic come through. So kind of teach yourself how to navigate who's a real human and who's a bot through that process. And take just a minute to look at the chat. Okay, so tools for keyword research for optimizing Google Business. So sometimes we think of our categories and services in our industry terms and not necessarily our customer terms. So in general, like, we're using Google Business as a search platform essentially for our local SEO. We want to make sure that we're using our potential customers' keywords. So kind of one old example I have is like a protein bar company or something, which this isn't as relative, but protein bar is the accepted term, where we don't want to start making up terms of like nut-based energy bar. Like, no one's looking for that. And so same thing with our Google Business listings. I'm a bakery, so I'm going to put that. I'm not going to put something really romantic. I don't need to really over-explain what a bakery is. If that's what I do, that's great. And so always kind of thinking in the customer's terms, what are they looking for? And then backing that up with some research through some of the free tools that we'll talk about. Okay, so first, competitor research. Competitor research is one of my favorite ways to just understand your market, right? And so there's so many ways that we can do this, but if you are a bakery and you go and search bakeries, Fayetteville, Arkansas, bakeries near me, look at what those competitors are doing online. What are their categories? What do their descriptions look like? What kind of photos do they have? And we never want to copy anyone, but we can kind of have an understanding of, okay, we at least need this information plus some. What can we do to differentiate ourselves? Especially if you're new to the market, people are going to be very familiar with the companies and services that they're familiar with, right? So you're trying to break in. What can you do to make someone try you over someone else? Getting a customer to switch their habits can be pretty difficult. So let's make it easy for them, and let's make it very clear that our offerings are unique. So yeah, basically a quick Google search, you will see a listing pull up, and I can go through this live in a minute, but you'll see your Google Business listings pull up. Just take an inventory of what your competitors look like. And then you can kind of make a keyword list for yourself of like, we do this, but we don't do that. You might put different categories and services than your competitors do. You just want to make sure that it's aligned with what you actually do. we don't need to like make up terms. We don't need to overdo it, basically. Doing the research that you can and being straightforward is most likely going to be what your consumers are searching for. And then Google Trends, I have a screenshot of this on the next slide, but it's free. You just can literally Google Trends, go in there. You can compare any two keywords. You can compare more than two. Compare keywords. So, do I want to position myself as a bakery or a bake shop? Most people just search for bakery, but I can go and see that data, or pastry shop. Google Trends is also really interesting because you will see regional terms. So we have different terms in Arkansas than they have in New York. If you're a national business, it's important to understand the keywords that people outside of your immediate area might be using. Things are referenced differently, things are called different things, and Google will show you that. So this is just an example of, okay, I'm considering what is my main business category, bakery or pastry shop. And we can kind of see like bakery is pretty much the accepted term for people looking for baked goods. It's pretty general. So you can compare any keywords like that. It's pretty neat to look at. You can look at it over the past 12 months, quarterly. It doesn't go farther back than 12 months normally. And then the keyword planner. So this is just another tool, right? These are all free resources. And some people, you might like Google Trends more than you like the keyword planner. This is through the Google Ads platform, which is free to set up. You don't ever have to run ads to use the keyword planner. It's just a free resource. There are paid services you can use to look at these type of options, but this is free and we love free, so we'll keep coming back to that. But basically what this is telling you is, okay, if I put in bakery, I can see related keywords, keyword ideas. So maybe bakery is my primary category, and I'm going to use some of these following keyword ideas for some of my secondary categories, or maybe I kind of sprinkle those in my business description on Google Business. And then related searches. So you make a Google search, and if you scroll down a little bit on the page, you'll see this related searches, pretty similar to the keyword related keywords in Keyword Planner, but often the related searches will give you a little bit more of the local to you searches. So you'll start seeing, I search bakeries, my related searches were bakeries in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Rick's Bakery. It kind of will take you down this, what I call Google black hole, if you want to get into that. If I click on bakeries in Fayetteville from this view, it will serve me different listings than maybe I saw initially. Then if I search Rick's, it'll take me to Rick's. Like, that's interesting to play with, I think, especially during your competitive research. Just kind of tells you what's out there and different variations of language that people are using to find categories and services similar to your business. And then very important to set your service hour, your service area, as I talked about before. So you can do this under your edit profile, location, areas. And this just shows you where people are available to find you. I saw a question in the chat about if you're a restaurant who has a physical restaurant and then you have a delivery area. I do believe you can set a delivery area radius in your profile, which is really neat. Yeah, so get specific in there, kind of click around, understand. I would encourage you to not just put everywhere because you want everyone to see you, right? If you cannot service an area, it's more effective for your customers, for you to not list that. I think in general, it's better to be very specific. If you're a service that drives and you're like, well, I could go to Alma if someone really needed me, like you're an inspector. I think mostly it's like home services, or you do something very specific and you're fine with that, but just know when you put Alma on that business listing, you can show up there. So I think it's best practice to just be prepared to be served to those areas that you're setting up your service areas to. If you can't travel to New York to do a home inspection or window installation or something, we don't need to put those on our profile. Reviews are a big benefit, hopefully not a downside of Google Business. Reviews are a major part of the decision process. So not only for your potential customer, but also for the search engine. So Google will prioritize a Google Business listing with more reviews over someone else. So like this example I'm showing, 1.5K, that's a ton of reviews. I do not expect you to have that many. But if you have 40 reviews and your competitor has 1, Google's going to say, okay, this business is preferred for people in this area over this other one because they have reviews. We've seen people get directions here. It's legit. People like it. And I just always encourage everyone to reply to every review, even if it's 5 stars, if it's 1 star. Sometimes those less than 5-star reviews are a great way to show your level of customer service, and just show that you made the attempt to make it right with that customer. I've had some experiences where someone had a bad day and they come and reflect it in a Google review for your business. And that is unfortunate, but we can go on there and show some compassion for those people and say, hey, we tried to reach out to you. We want to make this right. Please email us at contactus@business.com or whatever. Like, show on the external side that is hopefully a one-off situation and you are trying to make it right with your customer. I think sometimes people will take that review down. They'll just say, I'm sorry, I had a bad day. Thanks for making it right. You can handle that outside of Google. And that doesn't always happen, but at least if someone's going through your reviews looking for information and they see that 1-star negative review, they see that you've responded and that, you have a level of customer service that shows that you're putting your customer first. Another benefit to Google reviews on your profile is that Google will use it to pull keywords. So if someone's like, this is the most amazing bakery in town, they make incredible red velvet cupcakes, I get them for every event that I have, and I search bakery in Fayetteville, you'll see it highlight that keyword from the review, which is neat. Google Business does have an advertising option, which we get asked about sometimes. Basically, we get asked, should we run ads through the platform? Google makes it seem very easy to run them. They'll say, spend this much money and we'll give you this much in credits. So it makes it very easy to spend money quickly and sometimes ineffectively or inefficiently. And I would just always encourage you to consider the why behind the reason you think you should run ads first. We never want ads or spending marketing dollars to be a knee-jerk reaction. We want to feel confident in the strategy behind it. We don't want to say, oh, my sales are down for January, I need to go spend money to get ads. Like, let's investigate why sales are down. Is there a different, tactic we can use? Spending money on advertising is not always the best tactic. Sometimes we can learn the most about our business in a lower season, and kind of look into our customer trends. And maybe through that practice, we understand that January is just always a lower month for us. And so we're going to focus on other things, focus on marketing February, certain specials or something. And we could use that time and budget resources towards something that we know could be successful. It's not always a bad thing. Sometimes when you first start a business, you can throw a little money in Google Business ads and it will, help people see your profile more, but not 100% necessary all the time. I don't get into managing multiple locations in this course too much, other than it is possible. And I include a resource in the deck that just explains it more. Everyone's situation is different. Some people will own multiple locations in one area. So you might have a location in Fayetteville, Springdale, and Bentonville. That's a different situation than connecting your business and having it in different states or something. So it really is a case-by-case situation. And there's kind of a hierarchy of how to set up your account if that is your situation. And that resource that is in both the guide that we'll send out and this deck will walk you through that. This is just a little screenshot of what the profile looks like to reply to reviews, calls, messages, and set your Q&A. You would just find that through the customer tab and the Google Business profile. Your Google Business performance is those insights I was talking about. So you can just understand some data. Most of the time you'll see that most of your device traffic is coming from mobile through Google search and maps. That's pretty natural. We need to find something, we're looking something, we grab our phone and we go to search or maps. So this will vary for everyone, but one reason that's important is just to make sure that our website is always mobile optimized. If we're seeing in this case, 63% of our Google Business profile traffic is coming from mobile devices, and then we hope that they click our website link from the Google Business profile, and it's not optimized for mobile, most people are going to leave and go somewhere else, right? That creates a frustrating experience. So everyone's website should be mobile optimized. That's a best practice, but especially if you're seeing a ton of mobile traffic, we don't want to see that fall off from potential customers. Okay, questions? If anyone, that's kind of the spiel. I don't want to overwhelm. The guide can kind of go into a few more specifics with walkthrough explanations on how to do some of these things. I'm going to go to the chat and Q&A to answer anything that has come up during the presentation. And if anyone has anything else, feel free to add it there. Okay, one question that we're seeing is what benefit do companies which offer Google Business Profile Management, such as Page Hub, offer over what a small business owner may be able to perform themselves? I get several calls from many companies like this. That is a great question. I'm not sure. There are a lot. I can't think of a company at this time that I would recommend to manage your Google Business Profile, honestly. We have not had clients who have come to us using just specific agencies who only manage Google Business profiles. We have helped a few clients get out of contracts with companies who make it seem really great. They're going to optimize your website. They're going to optimize your Google Business profile. And really what they do is set up separate accounts and optimize it. They own it. You're not really learning anything. And if you end that relationship, sometimes you can lose your profile listing, all of those years of search data. It's kind of sneaky and I like to avoid that. If you do get approached by a company and you're considering it, we can send this guide as a follow-up, but I have a guide that is basically a list of questions with what you can ask when evaluating an SEO agency. If they are not willing to do XYZ, if they're going to own all of your content and accounts, that's probably a red flag. So I think through knowledge and education, small business owners are very capable of managing their Google Business profile. Once you get it set up, it's not a super active platform. You don't have to be on there every single day changing something. The main thing you would need to pay attention to is, if you add a service that would update your category or something, make sure you add that, like update your hours. If you're going to be closed for Easter, get in there before Easter and close that, little things like that. But I would most likely say save your money. Sorry, I'm always going to advocate for you guys to save money, but. Another question is there a reason to utilize this if you do not have a physical address or local only business? Yes. Any business should have a Google Business profile. So if you don't have a physical address, but say you do like virtual consultations or something, even if you're sitting in Fayetteville on a Zoom call with someone else from Fayetteville, it allows you to be found, and it just adds an extra layer of legitimacy, honestly, to Google, in addition to your website. If you have a local only business, 1000% you should have the profile. That's the whole point. Like, it is a great source of local SEO. And oftentimes, I hope I touched on this earlier, but oftentimes your Google business profile is what you see at the beginning of a search. So that is normally delivered first over your regular search listing. So if you don't have great SEO on your physical website, but you do on your Google business profile, you can normally, beat out some of your competitors who aren't focusing on optimizing their profiles, and then kind of get in front of some of those businesses that have first page, first, second, third, fourth position listings for their websites. I have another question on I get updates from Google about traffic on my website, but I assume this is different than actually having a Google business profile. It just depends what they're telling you about in that email. You can get monthly insights from Google Business. They will send that to you. And then if you have like Google Analytics set up on your website, you will most likely also get monthly emails if you're subscribed to them for Google Analytics, and those would be different insights. So your Google Analytics is your general website traffic, while your Google Business Profile insights would be for your Google Business Profile. So how many people called your business from your Google Business Profile listing? How many people clicked out to your website from your Google Business listing? Anything for your Google Business is going to be related back to that profile, how it drove traffic to your business.
Rachel, we have a question. It says, if you have a Google business profile and you're rebranding, are you able to edit the account and change the name?
Yeah, you should be able to. I would ask a follow-up question of, what does a rebrand mean for you? Is it a name change? Are you totally changing your category and services? If you're kind of completely rebranding your business and it makes more sense to just close, like nothing will be related, it might make more sense to set up a new profile. Google's probably not going to love it if you just change everything at once, but I think it depends on what you're updating. And if there's a follow-up to that as well, I can answer that. I was still working through the chat. I have one question. What are SEO companies? Thank you for asking that. I get ahead of myself. Angela said search engine optimization. So an SEO company will often approach you to manage your website search, your website SEO. So they'll say, hey, we can come in, do all this keyword research. We'll manage this. We will set all of the keywords for every page. We'll make sure you're number one on Google. All you have to do is pay us $4,000 a month. There can be some benefit to certain SEO companies for certain businesses. I just think that asking questions is great. We want to avoid certain companies who are going to basically white label our website. So we've had some experiences where someone signs up with a company, it makes it seem super great, and they're going to optimize your website. It's going to be amazing. You're going to be number one. And what they actually do is create a copy of your, like white labeling. They'll create a copy of your website, optimize basically a landing page that they own. And if you ever end your relationship with them, that disappears. So it's not and not every company operates that way, but that's the main red flag of if someone's only going to create a landing page and optimize that. It can be effective for while you have that relationship with them, but in the long term, if that's how they're managing it, you're not going to have that history if you end the relationship with them. Just a watch out, I guess. Okay, so a follow-up to the rebrand, if you're just changing your name and adding some services, but your core services will be the same, it would probably be fine to keep your profile. I have not actually had anyone do this. So I'll do some additional research and include it in our follow-up today. Sometimes Google can just be picky. They just would want to make sure that you're going to be the same location probably, and that they don't need to like re-verify the business. That's their main thing. They're pretty strict on making sure people aren't setting up like fake businesses. So that would be the main thing I would anticipate if they kind of flagged you for something, but I'll look into that and include it in our follow-up today. Thanks for asking that question. I'll take a screenshot so I remember. And then I have a question on walking through the keyword planner in greater detail. I'm not able to show an account just because it's data that I have for other people, but basically, I guess the question on is how you use it. I like to use it. If I'm doing a project like this, I kind of get into this like Google fury. So I'm using all these different tools. I go to keyword planner and I think, okay, I think these are my keywords that I want to use, maybe my keywords. And then I think these are what my potential customers would be looking for. And I'll just kind of search that, right? So if in my list is like bakery, pastry shop, cookie store, let's keep those three. I'm going to go in there and look at the keyword planner. Let me go back to this. I'm going to look at my keyword planner and see which has like the most search volume, basically. So bakery has higher monthly searches than well, all of these are pretty good, but you kind of want to be in that like 1,000 monthly searches up. The lower your monthly search volume is, the less likely it is that that is the ideal keyword for your business. Kind of a roundabout way to think about it. But if you think like, well, there are keywords with higher search volume, that is probably the most accepted term for your product or service. So everything on this list is pretty good, but if you see a huge drop off of like a keyword has 10,000 average monthly searches versus 500, it's probably better to go with that higher search volume than the lower. Doesn't mean you can't use the lower ever. That just wouldn't be my top priority for like basing your categories and service around a word that people would be searching for. You'll also see this competition on here. Low means that less people are bidding on that keyword when it comes to ads. This is important to consider whether you're going to run ads or not. It just kind of shows you how popular, well, not popular. Let me reframe this. If you were to ever run ads, the high, low tells you how easy it would be to rank for those keywords and how much you might pay for them. So for bakery, like your top of page bid would be $3.48. Not totally unreasonable, but if that went up to like high competition, it could go to $10. It just depends. So it's just kind of this game. Normally we kind of want to be in that area of like higher monthly searches, lower competition is rule of thumb, I guess. Sorry, going back to the chat. There's lots of questions. I love this. We don't always have this many questions. Okay. Have we ever seen issues with setting up a new business profile if you're buying a business that already has a Google business profile at the same address? If you're buying a business, technically you're buying the assets that come along with the business. I haven't had issues with I haven't had issues with Google having an issue with someone taking over this. That would just be something in my checklist of buying a business that I would say I need to get access to this from the current owner. So if you know they have a Google business profile set up, make sure they add your email to that as a user. And once you've purchased the business, you would take the previous owners off. It's probably better to keep that historical listing and put your information on it, your contact information on it, then just totally delete it if it's an existing business. This is specific, but we teach mountain bike skills, and the closest I can find to us is cycling club. Any recommendation, any way to find out what category my competitors are classified as? Yes, we can find out what your competitors are classified as. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can do this live, but sometimes that can be risky. Basically, oh, okay. I would go to Google, type in what you do. So go to Google and type in mountain bike skills or mountain bike classes near me. And see what is coming up immediately. You will then see the category come up. It is a little tricky when it's that specific, I would say, but that is where you can kind of back yourself up with some of that description, right? So like cycling club might not be the most, the quickest one for you. Sometimes Google will let you add your own categories or services as long as they are acceptable. They're not going to let you add anything that is super made up, but that's something we can look into. I will follow up with you on that, Sarah, but yeah, you can basically, if you know certain your direct competitors, just Google them and look at what their Google business looks like, and then or opposite, Google the keyword that you are looking to add to your profile. Let me just see if I can pull this up. Okay. I'm just going to show you this because I know it's specific, but I think it could help some other people as well, because a lot of us have very specific businesses. So oh gosh, that's crazy. This area is their Google business listing. So I search mountain bike skills classes. I could put that near me. Let's change it to near Fayetteville. You'll see that changes it. It looks like an important thing to have would be the mountain bike skills in your Google business name or in your description somewhere on your website. Yeah, the skills park. We could do some Google trend research on that as well, but you can kind of see even changing it for Fayetteville, Arkansas, change the businesses that are coming up, like Centennial Park. That's categorized as a park, right? But how I mentioned reviews earlier, it's pulling these keywords from someone's review. Fantastic world-class cross-country mountain biking course. So not exactly what I'm looking for, but Google is kind of doing their little search around to see that someone has left a review that fits the keywords in here. So I don't know if that's necessarily helpful, but that would kind of be the process. So either mountain bike skills classes, or Ninja mountain bike skills clinic. I'm not even seeing their Google business. So just kind of, that would be my process. Look at it both ways. If they don't have a Google business profile, that can be a great opportunity for you to really optimize yours and kind of beat out the competition in that way. I can't, okay, we had another question. Can you show us how to access the keyword planner? All of the accounts I have access to are client accounts, so I can't exactly show you how to do that, but I will put documentation in the follow-up email if that works for you. I just can't show any personal data through that account.
Great questions today.
Yeah, lots of questions. That's fun.
We'd like to thank all of you for joining us. If there are no more questions for Rachel, or if there are, just put them in the chat very quickly. I'd like to remind you that if you're not a client of the Small Business Center, you can go to our website at sbtdc.ur.edu and click the Get a Consultation button. And one of our great consultants will be happy to help you with your small business or your prospective idea for a business. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, and especially to Rachel for some great information. We will get the video posted as well as the supplemental information that Rachel uses, and we'll send that to you by email. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.